Well, I'm going to do a stuffed escarole the way my Nonna Galasso would have done it. So you want a beautiful looking head. When you get it home or out of the garden, you've got to really wash this well. So you want to turn it upside down and rinse it in lots of water because it tends to be very, very sandy. So we can just leave it aside now while we prepare the filling. And this is the way it goes. You want to start with either raisins, or you could use cranberries in this case. And what I did was I soaked those raisins in some water for about 15-20 minutes because you want them to really plump up so that they're not dry. And then with it, I add a little bit of oregano. We add breadcrumbs. You want about 1/2 to 2/3 of a cup for a large head of escarole. A little bit of garlic, some pecorino cheese. Now, pecorino is a sheep's milk cheese. This is the way it looks when you buy it. You should always buy your cheeses in wedges. This is pecorino cheese, and you'll recognize it by the words on the rind that tell you that it is pecorino cheese, a sheep's milk cheese with a salty taste. And depending on where it's coming from in Italy, it will have its particular name, like Pecorino Siciliano, coming from Sicily, Pecorino Toscano, coming from Tuscany, or Pecorino Romano, coming from Rome. So we're going to mix that in, and because it is a salty cheese, I'm not going to give this a lot of additional salt. I'm just going to give it a tad and a little bit of pepper. And then we want to snip up some fresh basil. If you didn't want to use basil in this, you could use fresh parsley, but I think basil is really nice in this dish. And this is a very unusual preparation for escarole. Even kids will eat this because it has a little bit of a sweet taste with the addition of the raisins. So there's the basil. And then one of the things I always remember her having were anchovies. And here we have anchovies. They come in a little can like that in oil, or you can also get them in salt. And if you really travel to Italy a lot, the anchovies in Italy are absolutely wonderful. So I'm just going to give them a coarse chop, just like that, and put them in the bowl with our filling. So basically, that is the filling. Now, what are we going to do with it? Well, before I start, I'm going to start in a Dutch oven here with a little bit of olive oil. So a little extra virgin olive oil, get that in a pan. And now we're going to mix this up just to combine it. And this is going to go in the center of our leaves, of our escarole. So let me move that out of the way and show you how this goes. And now we bring over this beautiful head, and you flatten it out, and you start adding some of this mixture in the center leaves. You want to keep this filling basically in the center. And oh, this brings back such memories of home when my grandmother did it. And of course, when I was a kid, I didn't want to eat this because I thought, oh, it has anchovies in it. But once I really got brave and tasted it, absolutely delicious. So you pack it down, and then you bring those leaves up as tight as you can get them on the board or on your cutting board, and you tie this up like a package. So you want to start out with some cooking string, and you tie it in several places very tightly because this is going to help you keep that filling where it should stay. So anchor one piece of string on there, get it really tight. You don't want that filling to fall out. Do that in several places. And then this is going to go right into our olive oil. We're going to braise this. This is going to take maybe 20 minutes at most to do. And I think I should put one more right there. If any of the filling falls out as you're doing this, you just want to grab it and put it right back in. So There's one raisin I'm going to tuck right in there. Okay, so now we have our oil in a pan. See if that's hot enough now. We take this, and you want to put it in a pan just large enough to hold it. So I like to do that in a Dutch oven. I reserved some of those raisins and garlic to put around the outside. So I put that in the base, just like that. And I add a little bit of white wine in the base of the pan. This vegetable has a lot of water in it, so we don't need a lot of liquid. Once it's in, you cover the pan, lower the heat to medium, and let it go.